Howdy folks, welcome back. Oh, there we go. You can see here today's puzzle is a very hard puzzle. I'm going to move myself over here just a smidgen out of the way. There we go. Very hard puzzle. So let's get started, shall we? Okay, we'll get this timer started. And then we're going to let my mind start to wander across the page. I see some 1s right here. I see some 4s right here. So let's follow those through real quick. 1 and 1. So we've got a 1 and a 1. I see a 1 here in this right column. I see a 1 here in this left column. And okay, I've joked about symmetry like every game here. This particular map, again, is full of symmetry. Look at this pattern. Matches this pattern. 2 in the left cube, 2 in the right cube. This pattern, this little triangle. 2 in the top, 2 in the bottom. So much symmetry in this puzzle. I still think it's funny. I don't know why. Simple symmetry is just kind of odd. Okay, I see 7s everywhere. I see a 7, a 7, and a 7, a 7, and a 7, and a 7. Okay, so we've got a 7 in the middle, 7 on the bottom, 7 in the left column. One spot for a 7. We've got a 7 in the left column, a 7 in the right column, and a 7 across the top. So we still have 2 choices here. We've got a 7 in the left column, 7 in the right middle column, pardon me. So we've got 2 choices still there. That's all of our 7s marked out. Which 2 numbers are we missing here? We've got a 1, we're missing a 2, and a 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But hey, look at that. There's our 6. So we know that's our 2, that's our 6. Look at that. They're just taunting us. They gave us something easy because they know they're going to get me later. Okay, we just put this 2 in. I see a 2 and I see a 2. So this 2 completes this middle column, this 2 the right column, this 2 the top row. Leaves us with 1. Let's go over here to the left. We've got a 2 in the top column. We've got a 2 in the middle column. So we know that one of these 2 is a 2. I rewatched my video yesterday, and there was a really simple number that I missed. And I finally caught it after 5 or 6 minutes, but I kept like trying to talk to myself through the video. The 7! You missed the 7! So I watched my own videos to see some of the silly mistakes that I make. So hopefully I will learn from those. Okay, so I'm looking at some 9s here. We've got a 9 across the top column, top row, 9 across the bottom row. We've got a 9 down the right column. Leaves us with a single 9. Tried to put a 0 in there. That won't work. We've got a 9 in the right column, a 9 in the middle column. We've got a 9 in the bottom row. Leaves us with 2 choices here for our 9 in this cube. We've got a 9 across the bottom. We've still got 3 choices up in this cube. Okay, here we've got a 9 in the middle column, a 9 in the right column, got a 9 in the top row. So just 1 choice there. 9 across the top, 9 across the middle, 9 across the middle here, 1 9. Now this completes our middle and our right row, leaves us with a single 9, and that now finishes off these 2. Can't have a 9 there because of this 9. And that's all of our 9s. Okay. Anytime I see an empty like this, I always look up and down, 7, 9, and 2, 7, 9, and 2. Like if there was a 3 down here, we'd know there couldn't be a 3 here, and that would make that a 3. So anywhere where you see like a single row, so like this 4 here, you know, it comes across. If there was another 4, it would single out a single number here, and then our 9 and our 7. We have a 4, 9, and a 7 blocking these 3, so we got a 4, 9, and a 7 already in this cube here. Alright, we've got a 1 here, and we've got a 1 here. So we now have a ghost row of 1 here, and a solid 1 here. We've got a solid 1 through the middle, so we've got 2 choices for our 1s here. Now we have 3 spots for this row. We need a 1. Well, it can't be here, but it could be here. We've got our 2. We've got our 3. We need a 4. Okay, so you can't have a 4 here. So you see how we have a choice between a 1, 2, and a 4? Well, we have a 1 and a 4 already in this column. So this column and this row is only going to allow this spot to be a 2 because of the 1 and the 4 already in place. So our 2 is gone, and now we have a 1 and a 4 option left. 1 and a 4. We have a 4 in the right column, we have a 4 in the left column, we have a 4 in the middle row. So we see here we've got a 1 and a 4, and I love these ones where there's two numbers like this because they lock themselves. These two cubes cannot be anything else other than a 1 and a 4, so we can look at these other 3 cubes and see what's missing. 3 spaces. We'll get my verbiage down. My brain is running a little bit here, so we've got 1, we've got a 2, we need a 3. Now this 3 comes across, so we have a choice for a 3 here. We've got our 4, now we need a 5. We know that our 5 cannot be one of these two. 5 can still be any one of these. We've got our 6, we've got our 7, and now we need an 8. So 8 comes up the middle, so we know we can have an 8 here or here. Okay, so that didn't give us any definitive answers other than that, but we do have this 1 and 4 locked, so we'll keep that here in mind. And we've got a 1 and a 4 here locked, which is great. We might get one of those fancy-dancy triangles here. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's look through our numbers here. So we've got our 1 and our 1 and our 1. We've got our 1, we've got a 1. So in this right cube, we have a 1 comes across the middle. We still have 3 spots. Okay, one of these two is our 1. We've got our 1. So over here in this cube, 1 comes across the bottom. We still have 4 choices, so we're not going to mark that just yet. Okay, let's look at our 2's. Now we have a 2 goes right across the middle, which blocks this, gives us a nice ghost row going up. Because we have a 2 in the left column, one of these two has to be a 2. And we've got a 2 in the right column, and we have a 2 across the middle. There we go. Now we have a 2 across the top, we have a 2 across the middle, and we have a 2 across the left. So we have some choices here. One of these two is our 2. Okay, right, we've got those. So let's look in this bottom cube here. We've got a 2 across the middle. We have a 2 across the left. We still have 4 choices for our 2 in this bottom cube. All right, we'll leave that alone for now. 3's. Okay, I see a 3 and a 3 right here. 3 down the middle, 3 down the right. Here's our 3. Okay, right. We've got a 3 down the left column here. 3 across the top, so any one of these 3 could still be a 3. We have a 3 across the top here. Any one of these 3 could be a 3. 3 across the top. Any one of these 3 could be a 3. Lots of choices for 3's, so we're not gonna limit those out just yet. Okay, we've got a 4. We've got a 4. Okay, great. So here's a double elimination. All right. So see how we have a 4 here in the left column, and we have a 4 in the middle row and the top row. So one of these two has to be a 4. Okay, so remember I was talking about these doubles like this? When it's a double elimination. So this just happened right here. You see how there can only be a 2 in these two because of the 2, the 2, and the 2? Well, the 4's line up identically with it. So these two are now entwined. They can only be a 2 and a 4. So with a double elimination, we now have our 7, and then we can cascade, and we have our 7. Anytime you get 2 spots that can only be 2 numbers, they're locked. They cannot be anything else. And it also gives us a ghost row both directions. We've got 2 numbers missing here in this column. Let's see what we're missing. We've got a 1, 2, 3, 4. We need a 5 and a 6. So we're actually going to lock this row, and I can tell you this number is going to be whichever one's missing, which looks like an 8, which we have our 8 across the bottom and our 8 across the left, so that also verifies that has to be our 8. Okay, 5 and a 6, I look to the right, to the left, see if there's any 5s or 6s. I see in this top row we've got 2 numbers missing, and it looks like a 5 and a 6 as well. So it looks like our 5 and our 6s are going to be some cascadings. 5 and 6, 5 and 6, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. All right. So we have a 2 and a 4 here. Now we've got a 4 here. And what's our other number that's missing here? It looks like that 6 is missing, but it can't be here. And you see how we got the 6 in the right, so we know that this is going to be a 6. We know a 4 can't be here, so our 4 can be here. And this one can be, and see our 2 has still got some choices there. Alright, so we've got a 2 and a 4 here. Let's see what's missing. We went up to 4s, I believe. Let's go back to our numbers. Let's go back to our numbers. We've got 3s. Did we get all the 3s? I don't think we got all the 3s. We did, because there's lots of choices on 3s. Okay, let's look at our 4s. We've got a 4, we've got our 4, we've got our 4, we've got our 4, we've got our 4. So a 4 across the middle, 4 down the left. So let's get our 4 here. Now we have a 4 down the left because of this 4. We have a ghost row because one of these two is a 4, so we can't have a 4 in this column. We have a 4 across the top row. There we go. We got it limited. Now see how we had a 4 here or a 4 here? Well, right there, that 4 now limits this column to only having a 4, and that's going to start cascading some solutions here for us. Okay, so you see now we have a 2, so one of these two is a 6 and a 2. Alright, so we have our 4 across the bottom, we have our 4 across the top, so this middle one still needs its 4. And then we've got our 4 and we've got our 4. So all of our 4s are identified, and we help to actually get a couple solutions, which is great. So now we're missing 2 numbers here. Looks like a 5 and an 8. 5 and an 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is missing. 6, 7, 8. Now we've got an 8 here. So we know this one's going to be our 8 and this one's going to be our 5. Okay. Alright, so that's good. So we've got the 5 and the 8. We've got the 2 and the 6. So we did all of our 4s. So now we need to go on to our 5s. Let's look at our 5s. And remember, we got a lot of 5s and 6s. So I know these ones are going to be sneaky because they're going to cascade with some solutions here. We've got a 5 down here to the right. Too many choices. To the left. Too many choices. We've got a 5 here in the middle. To the left. Too many choices. To the right. Too many choices. And we've got our 5s kind of penciled out. We still can have more options up here because we only have these 2 5s here to help finish off any columns, rows, or blocks. Let's go to our 6s. We've got a 6 down here in the bottom. We've got a 6 here in the middle. So if we come up to the middle column and the right column, we know that we have 2 choices here for our 6, which is good there. We've got that identified. We've got our 2 6s here. We've got our 6s here and our 6s here. So if we bring this over to the right, okay, so see this column right here? See how it's missing the 6? Well, you cannot have a 6 here because of this one, and you cannot have a 6 here. So out of the 3 spots that are left, that's the only one left for our 6, and now we start to cascade a couple solutions. Now see this 2, one of these 2 had to be our 2, so that is also going to cascade continuous here. Help us out. Just kind of follow those through. I missed that last time, and I think that caught me up. There were more numbers than availabilities, and I got stumbled up in my mind here. Okay, so we got this 6 here. So let's look here at our center one. We've got a 6 across the top. We've got a 6 across the bottom. So we have a 6 in one of these 2 spots. Alright, so up here in the top, we've got, see, no solid 6s just yet, so we can have a 6 pretty much anywhere over here. Okay, I notice we've got 2 spots left in this row, which looks like a 1 and a 5. Remember that 5? That 5 is being sneaky all over the board. So once we start solving these 5s, see this 5 and 6 and 5 and 6 and 5 and 1? That big rectangle there, when these 5s start cascading, that's going to solve a lot. Okay, so let's see here. Let's look at these 7s. We've got a 7, 7, 7. I think we finished all the 7s already. 7s. So we've got all the 7s done. Let's look at some 8s, shall we? Okay, so we have an 8 across the top. We have an 8 across the bottom. In fact, right, and we have an 8 across the left. So we know this one here is our 8, but I'm noticing here on this row we've only got 1 spot. See, I'm missing the simple things. We've got a 1, a 2, and a 3. So there's our 3. So let's follow that through. Let's make sure. Okay, so we've got a 3 here, and we've got a 3 here, which is going to give us 2 choices for our 3. We've got a 3 in the bottom. We've got a 3 across the top. That's now going to give us 2 choices for our 3 here. Just marking those out as we go. Okay, so we've got two numbers here that are missing, and wouldn't you know it, look at that. It's a 1 and a 5. 1 and a 5. And we've got two missing here, and wouldn't you know, 1 and a 5. 1 and a 5. See that 1 and a 5? That 1 and a 5 is going to be sneaky. Okay, so let's look at all of our 8s as an option here. Okay, so in this cube here, we have an 8 in the left column. We have an 8 through the middle column, which only allows one spot left for the 8. Now these two are going to be 6s, so because 8 is there, that now gives that to the 6. Let's look up, let's look down. Let's see if that helps us to identify any other options now that we start getting some solutions. Okay, so let's keep following. Oh, this 8 right here. Okay, we had these two as our 8 because of the 8 here. Well, if that's an 8, this one cannot be an 8. That makes this one our 8. Okay, so we have an 8 here in the middle column. We have an 8 in the left column. Just one spot left for our 8 up here. So now we have 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8. Got all of our 8s done. All right, so let's look at our 9s. We've got a 9, 9, and a 9. We've got our 9, 9, and a 9. Our 9, 9, and a 9. So all of our 9s are identified. So we're getting down close here to the wire here. So we have, okay, we got to get rid of that 8 because we've got the 8 finished for this block. So we're missing two numbers. Anybody have a guess? A 5. A 5. Remember that 5 that's being real sneaky? Look at this. These 5s are cascading all over the place. 3 and a 5, 3 and a 5. Okay, 1 and a 4, 1 and a 4, 1 and a 4. Okay, now let's look at the cubes. Let's look at the cubes and let's go ahead and mark out anything that we have left. Okay, so we've got a 1, we've got a 2, we need a 3. So let's see where we can stop our 3. So we have no 3 across the top. Okay, and so we have two spots that our 3 can be, here and here. So we have 2 to the left, 2 to the right, and 1 with a split. That is a standard pattern. You'll see 2 to the left, 2 to the right, and 1 on each. If you had 2 to the right and 2 to the right, then those would they would cancel each other, or do an X formation, and that would give you the alternative, the option there. So you see how there's 2 here on the bottom rows, so the other 3 has to be in the top row. Okay, so we've got our 3 identified, we've got our 4 identified. Now what about our 5? Can a 5 be in the top? Yes. Can a 5 be here? Yes. Can a 5 be here? Yes. Alright, and then our 6s, let's see here, can't be in the middle, and it can't be to the right, so 6 can be one of these two, and that also gives us a ghost row of 6s. Okay. Is there anything over here that can help us with it? We've got 2 on the bottom, and these 3 are our still options. Okay, and then I got our 7, 8, 9. So this one is fully marked out. This cube's fully marked out. Let's look on this right cube. We have our 1 is identified in one of these two. And so we got 2 on the right, 2 on the left column, and split. So our 1s are evenly balanced. 2, 3 has to be in one of these two spots here, because we have a 3 in the right and the middle and the left columns and across the top, so it's one of these two. We've got our 4. Now what about that sneaky 5? Where can that go? It can go everywhere. So let's mark 5, 5, 5. What about our 6? Well, our 6 can't be in the middle column. Right, but can it be here? Yes, it can be there. Can it be here? Yes, it can be here. And it can be here, but it cannot be here. See, no 6 there. So 1 and 5 only. And then we've got our 7, 8, 9. So those are all marked out. This cube's all marked out. This cube's all marked out. Okay, so this one can be a 1 and a 4. And it could be a 5. See that sneaky 5. So we've got a ghost row across the top, a ghost row across the middle, and then there's our 5. 1 and a 4. Okay, can this one be a 5? Nope, because of that 5 right there. Okay. Alright, so I might have to start using that little pencil technique I don't like to do. I might have to start guessing a number and kind of follow it through a little bit. Let me search first. Let me stretch my brain and look for that rectangle solution here. If there's one number, like there's a ghost row here of 6s that come down. Okay, we've got our 1s here. And we've got a 3 or a 5, a 3 or a 5, 3 or a 5. See all these 3s or 5s? Okay. See, here's a 3 and a 5, a 3 and a 5, 3 and a 5, and a 3 and a 5. So I'm curious if that would help us if I could, like if this is a 3, this is a 5, then this is a 3 and this is a 5. Okay, so if this is a 5, this is a 3, this is a 5, this is a 3. Does that help us any? Okay, okay. 3s. I'm right there on the cusp, folks. We've got a 1 and a 4 and a 1 and a 4, a 1 and a 4 and a 1 and a 4. So if this is 1, this has to be 1. If this is 1, then that has to be 4. This has to be 4. And then one of these is 1 and a 5, and a 1 and a 5. Does that help out any? Ooh. What about this 5 and 6? See these 5 and 6 rectangles? 5 and 6, 5 and 6, 5. Because if this is a 5, then this would have to be a 3, and this would have to be a 6. Okay. And this would have to be a 6. Okay, so this would have to be a 6. See, once I start going past 2 or 3 options, my brain just can't remember. So, nothing wrong with using a good old scrappy piece of paper here and just kind of going through those. I'm still having a hard time finding these rectangles that could be helpful here. I'm going to watch, I'm going to have to, again, study up some more on some YouTube channels here and watch the masters. You practice, folks. That's how you get better. Watch other folks, see how they do it, listen to their techniques and their strategies, and slowly get better. It's practice. I heard a great saying is back in the when I was a kid, they'd always say practice makes perfect. And I had a music teacher that said that's not true, because you can practice something wrong and not get any better at it. So she said perfect practice makes perfect. And then later I heard another saying where it's practice doesn't make perfect, practice makes improvement. And I like that better too. You practice something and you improve every time you try it. So let me take my little pencil here and let's try these two, because they are this 5. I'm telling you, this 5, if I could find that little 5, just one 5, this whole thing would fall apart. One of these 5s is just holding that together. I really wish I could see that little solution. These very hard ones have that solution that's just scratching my noggin, and I'm not seeing it. I wish I could see it a little bit better. But it's just the probability of which choice is which one. Okay, so let's do this. If we write these two middle ones, let's look at the possibility of the top one being a 5. Okay, so I'm going to just write that down there. So if the top one is a 5, the bottom one is a 6. Now if this top one is a 5, then to the left is going to be a 3. Then to the right it has to be a 6. Okay. Okay, so if that is a 3, then we have a 5 and a 6 top and bottom, and the 6 on the bottom is going to make this a 5, and it's going to make this a 6. Okay, alright, and then all the way on the bottom, if that's a 5, that's going to be a 1 and a 3, and with that a 1 and a 3, that's going to make that a 5, that's going to make the middle one a 3, a 5. Okay, I'm just following out. Let's see here, so if that one is a 6, the top one's going to be a 5, and the bottom one's going to be a 1, and then a 3, Okay, and then the middle bottom one is going to be a 4, and then a 1 and a 4. So this is going a lot further than I normally. When I get one solved that's not the wrong one, it'll just give me a little bit of solutions, and I get stuck on the next spot. But this one is going all the way through here, so it's almost. Oop, nope, nope. Okay, so I wrote this down. If this top one is a 5 and this bottom one is a 6, then this one ends up being a 1 and this one ends up being a 1. And that will not work, folks. Like I said, the one reason that I do like Sudoku is you can only have one solution. So there is some conundrum here that I am missing within these numbers right here, that if this is a 5, then these two become 1s. Well, but it has to start from here. So if this top is a 5, this becomes a 1, and if this top is a 5, this becomes a 1, and that will not work. So these have to be the opposite. So this has to be a 6, this has to be a 5, and so then let's walk that through. So if this is a 5, well, this one is a 1, okay, and if this one is a 5, see, and that's the other reason when I find out, when it doesn't let me continue on very far. There's our 4, there's our 5, there's our 1, there's our 5, there's our 1. Okay, so this one is going to be a 1 and a 5 like this no matter which way we go. So that was part of the rectangle I hadn't found. So let's look at that. So 5 comes across here. This one is going to be our 5. This is the only one left for a 1. This is the only one left for our 3. 3. 5. See this? Yeah, that wouldn't have worked the other way around. Our 4, our 1. Okay, and if this is our 3, and we already have our 3 for this row, so here's our 5, and here's our 6. Here's our 5. The only number missing here in this row is a 3, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There it is, folks. So a little bit of paperwork. I still have to learn that extra technique of that rectangle finding. I'm still scratching my brain, but just a little bit of a pencil and scratching marks down can help you. If you get to that point where you're almost solved, a couple spots left, give it a try one way. See how it comes out, and if that works, great. Normally, and if it doesn't, you just got to swap those two numbers around, and voila. So here's to learning some more Sudoku. Hope you guys had some fun. Hope you guys try it out. Please feel free to leave some comments, leave some challenges. I'm always up for a challenge. There's another game called Killer Sudoku that has like no numbers but just sums. If you add up the numbers, it gives you different territories for summations. That one's kind of fun. It takes a little bit more time, but do enjoy the game. So thanks for following and watching, folks. Feel free to subscribe and follow and share and like and all that good stuff. And have a good one. Thanks for following along with the game.